shirt collection, this will be a good place to start if you want to. And if you want to go to it, you go to my link tree in the very top link. You can enter code Justin. Thank you for the follow, Robin. And actually, that I'm going to come back to that in a second. You reminded me of something, Robin. You can go to my link tree and you can buy these snarky like millennial tees. And like I said, this is the only affiliate thing that I'm doing because I think it's interesting. I don't know if they're going to put the oldest son on the stand. Maybe. So I did want to, one thing I want to say earlier, how many people do I have? 435, and how many on YouTube? 4. Okay, I'll probably say this a couple times. So I decided I wanted to do a contest for followers because it's kind of mutually beneficial. I don't know what I'm going to do yet as far as what I'm going to give, but I know the value will be at least $100. It could be a gift card. It could be something cool. I haven't figured it out yet. But I know that when TikTok, I did that one and I gave away a really cool like print done by my friend who's the artist, signed by Alice Cooper, and that one went really well. But I want to get my Instagram and my YouTube a little bit better. So I'm currently at, I don't know what I am on YouTube. I think 3,800 or something like that. And I think 7680 something or 90 something, 7695, I think, on Instagram. So when I get to 10,000 on Instagram, I will do a follow. I would do a shirt. I would totally do a shirt if somebody wanted that. I don't remember the name of the person. It wasn't a poster, it was a print, and I don't remember their name off the top of my head. I have to go look. It was somebody that was not a regular, though, Leah. I know that. It was somebody that was not a regular. Which kind of is disappointing in a way because I feel like the regulars definitely deserve something. But, we let Victoria pick a random name, and that was kind of what happened. So anyways, but yeah, I could do a shirt or I could do something. But anyways, once I hit 100,000 on Instagram, which I'm not terribly far off, and 5,000 on YouTube, I will do a giveaway. We could do a shirt or something like that too. But so yeah, so please go follow me there because that's what we're gonna do. And that goes for you two people. And we will be doing Banfield tonight. Banfield's going to start in 20 minutes. I think that Murdoch is guilty. I do. I really do think that. The fact that Ashley Banfield last night said, though, she didn't think that Murdoch was guilty kind of surprised me. Now, let me stop for the Murdoch trials for a second. Did you guys see the latest video I did on Ann Taylor? Have y'all seen that one? And who else she's represented outside of Xana's mom? Yeah, his tears are so fake. I want to come back to that too. Okay, y'all did see that. Okay. It's just a small world up in Idaho, I suppose. Hey, Dina. Yeah, Maddie. Well, Maddie's dad and stepmom. Yeah. Yeah, crazy, right? No, Ann Taylor, not like the less funny. I thought that too initially. No, it's Brian Koberger's attorney. She represented Maddie's dad in a drug case too back in 2020, and then her stepmom in another case back in June. And then they said there's been no activity on that case since, I guess, December 28th, which was 2 days before. But it's very strange. I guess there's an issue with a lot of drugs up there. I'm not judging any of the parents. Obviously, drug usage is hard. But I will say, to me, this makes kind of a Banfield pregame, exactly. Maddie's dad. This, to me, kind of makes Xana and Maddie in particular that much more of impressive young women, because to have environments and parents who are drug addicts, and again, I'm not judging. Look, addiction's a terrible thing, right? Everything is terrible. You can buy this shirt and other great ones by going to the link tree in my profile, top link, using code Justin, and you will get a discount, and they will give me a little bit of a commission. So if you want to support me but have an awesome shirt, go there and do that. They have all sorts of ones. I actually have more coming, so when I get home, I'll have more shirts to do. That's been the issue, is that any money that I've made on shirts, I've spent more money on shirts than I've made because I have a problem. But anyways, to me, it makes them that much more impressive, right? The fact that these young women rose above it, went to college, were working, for these degrees. It's very impressive to me. And I hate people saying, well, this must be a drug thing. No, it's not. These are people who, It doesn't even say everything is terrible, guys. Everything is terrible. Um, you think he gets the thrill from having the victim's mother's lawyer? I don't know. I don't know if he knows that. To be honest with you, he's in jail. He doesn't have access to all these little things that we do, so he might not. He might very well not know this at all. Um, anyways, I get very. You guys know, for those of y'all who've been following me for a while, you guys know how I get when people kind of victim blame or besmirch the name of those who can't defend themselves, and I feel that um, with all of the victims, Maddie, Kaylee, um, Xana, and Ethan. I'm still very much that way for Gabby Petito. I get very, very protective over Gabby, even to this day. Which actually, Joe Petito followed me yesterday from the live, so I'm actually kind of. I mean, I'm very honored to have that, but at the same time, I hate the circumstances that it's under. Xana's mom and Brian had to sign and agree to take his case. I'm not sure. I can't speak on that because I don't know. I haven't get the chat up on YouTube. I can't see what they're saying there. Hey, everyone on YouTube. Sorry, the chat wasn't up. I'm sorry. I will say this too. Now that we have some more people in here, I'm going to get real comfortable here for a second. What I had said earlier is I am trying to grow YouTube and I am trying to grow Instagram. It's the same names here. You can get to both of those other social media accounts from my profile. I'm going to do a giveaway. And, I said $100, but maybe I could do like a couple shirts or something like that if people want to give a couple options. I haven't figured out exactly what, but I'll do something. When I hit 10,000 on Instagram, which I'm at like 76 something, I think. And YouTube, I'm going to say 5,000. I think that's reasonable. So if you don't follow me, please consider doing so there because I really am trying to go. I think I can do better than Funky Socks for a giveaway to get to that number. I want to do something that makes it worthwhile. I got to know what you did to spoil Alyssa on her birthday. Well, we did whatever she wanted to do, essentially. And I am on YouTube now, though, for people who are interested. And if you missed, that reminds me because you said that. If you want to go to YouTube, you can. The chat is a lot less. It's literally 10% of the people that are in here. So if you go jump there, you will still be able to see everything tonight. But I can see the question. The questions aren't flowing as heavily. So, no, the night at the cabin. I mean, we own the cabin, so it's not really special. But she got a new iPad. It's pink. It's actually the YouTube people are on it, so they can't see it. But I can show you all. This is it because I'm using it for YouTube. But I got her an iPad because she's been doing all this cricket stuff lately, and this one they said was good for cricket. And then we just kind of did whatever she wanted. She wanted to go to the outlet malls and shop, so that's what we did. So yeah, that's what we did. Thank you for asking on that. But anyways, yeah, I'll figure out for YouTube and for Instagram. I will figure out a really good giveaway. The last giveaway we did was really good, I think, as well. So what's Procreate? Other than like I know what Oh, it's an app. Okay, I will tell her if she's not listening already. She might be in here. Okay, thank you for sharing that. But I am excited. Okay, so as far as I've loved that I found you related to you for the month. My question is, would you? Okay, so Haley is asking me on YouTube. I love that I found you and related related to you for the mother-in-law video and have been here since. My question is, would you consider being a full-time content creator? I would absolutely love that, Haley. In fact, that's one of the reasons why I'm trying to grow YouTube. If I could get to a point where, from a social media perspective, I could replace my income, I would totally do this full-time because it's something that I really enjoy doing. It seems that people enjoy me doing it. Yeah, we are going to be watching Banfield tonight. Yes. And so yeah, I would absolutely love to do that. It's for me to do it and be able to do that, I guess I probably need to not, find people to work with sponsorship. But again, I won't put my name on anything that I don't believe. So I just, that's again why YouTube is going to hopefully, if YouTube pans out, I know they pay their creators fairly well. So yeah, I know. I love that term, Emily, interactive journalist. I'm like, that's what I am. I'll take it. Yes, I know Banfield in 15 minutes. Yeah, TikTok can be gone tomorrow. TikTok is also very challenging with their creators. I don't know. You guys have heard me say that before. And look, I'm not saying anything. Okay, I'll just tell Alyssa all this stuff. So, can you do something? I haven't had a chance to look at it because, again, I know somebody has. I've had people send me the stuff on Ty and Bren in the Utah situation. I have not had a chance to read it because outside of doing this, which the Murdoch case is taking a lot of my time, Idaho takes a lot of my time. On top of that, I have a wife, a full-time job, and a daughter. So when I get a chance to look at it, I absolutely will. Um, because right now I have certain things that I'm covering that people are kind of coming to me for, but I have no problem looking at it and seeing what I can do once I get the time to do so. Someone asked what time Banfield was at. It is at 10 o'clock Eastern time. It is currently 9:47, so 13 minutes. I thank you. I appreciate that, Haley. What if you don't have Insta? Will it be separate? Well, then there will still be the YouTube. If you don't have Insta, that's totally cool. That's why I'm going to be doing it on YouTube as well, because I'm trying to grow both accounts. So, so yeah, there will be one for YouTube as well. YouTube, if once I get to 5,000, and Instagram once I get to 10,000. So both of them are about the same distance apart as far as followers go. That's why I felt it was fair. And then once we get there, we'll do a bigger giveaway for the next number, which will probably be 15,000 on Insta and then 10,000 on YouTube. Is there any more on the other Brian and his wife Ann? So the Walshes, yes. The Walshes are. I haven't really heard much left on that. He's been charged. He's pled not guilty. He is 100% guilty. So, yeah. I don't know if Xana's mom is on social media. What do I think of Xana's mom's interview? I don't really understand what the point of it was. I feel bad for her if it's true that she was not that Ann Taylor had power of attorney and didn't inform her of the switch. She didn't know about it. I think that that's really crappy for her office not to do that. At the same time, I know a lot of people thought that she was getting exploited. I don't see what the value was in the interview per se. My understanding, and I don't know this to be 100% true, so please don't hold this to me, but my understanding, and I believe it's very likely to be true, is that I don't think that Xana and her mom have a relationship. I think that they have been estranged, is from what I understand. Again, could be wrong. If I'm wrong, please correct me. So that being said, I don't know. The value was like, what was the point? Where can you see the interview? I missed it. So Anna, you could probably Google it. Thank you for the gift. But I also, if you go look at the live, I did it on YouTube as well. Those lives are saved. So you can go back and look at it. And also, if you missed the live with JB, last night, that I saved from this live on TikTok and uploaded it to YouTube, so you can go watch that as well. Before growing on your platforms, were you an active social media? Okay, before growing your platforms, were you an active social media user? Did you post a whole lot about yourself before TikTok? No, not at all. I never intended to become, I don't know, I hate to use the term social media famous or TikTok famous. That was never something that was intended. It was completely accidental. But I'm grateful for it, of course. Did you catch Murdoch would look at the jury, then show emotion? I didn't get to watch, Melanie. Like I said earlier today, I didn't get a chance to walk about. If you're talking about Judy, the Memphis case, yes, I will be talking about that. I haven't had a chance to make a video for that yet either, because that's in Tennessee. So I'm looking over here though. But yeah, I've heard and kind of got to hear a little bit, but I was driving through the mountains on and off all day, so I did not have good service to catch the thing. I'm waiting for Banfield to catch myself up. But here's the thing about Murdoch. Okay, I want to talk about that for a second. Murdoch showing emotion. And by the way, everybody who's just coming in, we will be streaming Banfield here in about 10 minutes. So grab your drinks or whatever, and we will definitely be doing that. But I think that the emotion is coming off as fake. I did a video on the LSU girl already. I did that yesterday, as a matter of fact. And it's gotten a lot of awareness. It's like at 300-something thousand views as it sits, or 350,000 views as it sits. So I think that the jury will pick up on that. And if the jury believes that the crying, the emotion is fake, not sincere, then they're going to feel the same way throughout the entire testimony. Once they pick up on that, that's, hey, Caldwell. So I don't know what happened last night with everything, and I'm sorry about it because I know you're great in here. So I will say this: unless people are being, for any mods out there, I know that yesterday we got a little froggy because of everything that was going on. unless people are being flat out belligerent, let's not mute people, okay? As long as so, and I don't really mind spoilers either. So, and his thoughts, his lawyer say his client may have a head wound. I don't know. I mean, he did. Buster will definitely not testify against him. That much I can be sure. Snapchat person did not go on today, surprisingly. I thought that they were going to be one of the first witnesses. It was mainly today the responding officers. What was the evidence that got him arrested? I don't know. I have to go find the affidavit. There's so many things. I'm actually, I can't, I don't know off the top of my head, but I did post the arrest affidavit, I believe, on Insta, where I always post that kind of stuff there. Yes, Mackenzie, I did see that. So Mackenzie's asking if I saw about the mom in Massachusetts who killed her 2 little kids and her 3rd child is in critical condition. Then she jumped from the 2nd story of her house to unalive herself, and I know she survived. You didn't say that, but I know she survived. So yes, I am familiar with that story. Alyssa and I talked a lot about that story today. And I want to do something on that because I feel like, but as a guy, I feel like I have to tread lightly. Because I think that this was severe. I mean, she still is in it. She at this point still, from what I understand, doesn't understand what she's done. That she is in postpartum psychosis, and I don't know what her situation is, but I know that with women after birth, postpartum depression and issues. Okay, let's just say she was a labor nurse, are very, very real, and if you're dealing with this, a lot of it by yourself too, or not having the help that you need, not having, and unfortunately in this country, mental health awareness and resources are not as good as they should be. I'm not, excusing any behavior. It's absolutely tragic. So anyways, I think, okay, so switching back, what Lori just said, she busted in, that happened, yesterday or so? Today? Do you get something when we send gifts? Yes. It depends on the gift, but like yesterday, a lot of people sent gifts, and which honestly is the most I've ever been given in a live, and I made like $16.34. Usually I get like 2 cents to $1, depending on the live. But I mean, anything that y'all choose to do like that for me is appreciated, obviously. But I don't know what that is as far as the percentage that TikTok takes from you guys. Health insurance is a huge problem too. Alyssa and I have great insurance. When Victoria was in the NICU, our bills without insurance would have been over $1 million. The average, and there were people in the NICU with us that did not have insurance. It's a challenge. So, okay, they take 70% and they give us 70%. TikTok takes 60%. Okay, well that's nice of them. That's not a stupid question. First of all, Annie, not a stupid question. Annie asks, this might be a very stupid question, which it's not, but since Alex Murdaugh is an attorney, can he represent himself? No, he cannot, because he's been disbarred. Now, that said, if he had not been disbarred, he could represent himself. But there is an old saying that says, any man who represents, or any person, I guess, let's be gender neutral, any person who represents themselves has a fool for a client. So even if he didn't get disbarred, he still should not have represented himself. My sister actually had postpartum psychosis with her 2nd child, and my mom and mother-in-law had to switch off weekends, and her sister would go out for weeks to help out. Yeah, it's sad. It's really hard. And she's 40 weeks. Let's just such. Oh, I was 3 days super nervous for PPD. Yeah, an attorney. That's what I said. An attorney who represents himself is a fool for a client. Exactly. I didn't get to really see much of today's trial because I was working and traveling throughout mountains, so I didn't get to watch or listen to as much as I wanted to. But what I did see, I know that Dick Harpootlian was really trying hard to discredit the officers in the crime scene treatment. I thought that was kind of stuck out. His fake emotion kind of stuck out to me a little bit that I got to hear about this. He's so full of shit. But the thing is, the state's got to prove beyond the shadow of a reasonable doubt that I'm gonna go ahead and get Banfield and start turning it on. I won't until it gets on. Beyond a reasonable doubt. But it's one thing if it's sincere. That kind of stuff is very hard to fake. He's not a good actor, in my opinion. His 911 call, he wasn't a good actor. So I don't think they're doing him any favors. But it has to be beyond the shadow of a doubt. And I don't know. I'd love to get on alive with an attorney and kind of have a discussion like, hey, with what we know, what do you think? But I mean, it's such a complex case, y'all. Such a complex case. Went and got a gun because he was scared. Yeah, supposedly he went and got the gun. I would love to do Lawyer Carrie. You know what, y'all go to Lawyer Carrie and tell her to do a live with you, because her and I are supposed to. We are mutuals, but we never were able to make it work. I'm gonna try. I'll reach out to her again. She does respond when I reach out. So, okay, cool. So since I'm gonna do this real quick before we trying to look what y'all said. Madeline McCain. Parents went to dinner, left her alone. She was kidnapped, killed. His parents were doctors and showed no emotion. Do that, and they were innocent. Yeah, but that's a different situation. That's why I'm saying it's one thing to show no emotion because you might be a stoic person. It's another thing to fake emotion, I think. I would love to go live with Lawyer Carrie. She's great. I don't think I know the lawyer of TikTok. Right now, we've been talking about the Murdoch case, which we're about to go live, which I think Banfield said they're going to have some additional of the Kernodle or Xana's mom's interview, which, again, I just don't know what value that brings. In fact, they're talking about it on Dan Abrams right now. I don't know what value that brings. But real quick, before it starts in 2 minutes, Banfield starts in 2 minutes, I'm doing a giveaway thing. I haven't figured out exactly what I'm going to give away. It could be some of these cool shirts. It could be money, gift card. My plan is to have the value be whatever it is, at least. You, of course, actually, absolutely you can. You can ask that, Rick. But something, I'm going to be doing 2 of them, one on YouTube, the other on Instagram. All you have to do is follow me. And then once I reach 10,000 followers on Instagram, which I'm not terribly far away, and 5,000 followers on YouTube, I will make the announcement. We can do some exclusive cricket merch too. We'll we can give some options for people to choose what they might want, up to and including like a gift card, $100 gift card, like a Visa one or something, so people can use it with whatever they want, or Amazon or whatever. But we can give you guys some options. We could do a hoodie. That's possible too. But yeah, you just have to follow me on. I know they had an AR style, and then there was a 12 gauge shotgun, an AR. And a 12 gauge. To answer the question, sorry for y'all who know, they asked if we knew what kind of weapons he used. Anyway, so all you have to do is follow. I just want to buy a shirt. You can buy this shirt. So that's the other thing too. I have an affiliate program that I'm doing, which is these shirts. Because as of y'all who follow me, who haven't followed me for a while, I don't do sponsorships. I don't do this. This is an affiliate program. And this says everything is terrible, but I also have the day you deserve. I also have I'd rather be filled with donuts instead of existential dread. And there's a bunch of other really good ones. But if you go to my link tree in my profile and you click the very top link, it'll take you to Boardwalk T-shirts using my affiliate link. And you can use code Justin, just my name, Justin, at checkout, and it'll give you, I think, 10 or 20% off. And then they give me like a little kickback for it. So I love these. Banfield's not quite on yet. Once it is, I will flip y'all over. It's still Dan Abrams. Yeah, I know. It was something that I believed in. This is one that I believed in, so I liked it. Well, yeah. Well, Gabby, yes, the Pascal stuff is great, but that's not my merch. Thank you. The slight recap of the case for Murdoch. I would recommend going to my Murdoch playlist because in less than a minute, I don't have time. I mean, really, you could talk about the Murdoch case for like a JB Buono and I said last night. You could talk about that case for 72 hours and not get everything. But I'm telling you right now that at least on my TV on News Nation, it is still showing Dan Abrams. So maybe there's a delay. There it is. Now it's switching. Okay, I'll turn y'all on.
welcome to the program. You probably were just watching Dan Abrams, and I have a continuation of what Dan Abrams was
Turn YouTube around too for you guys.
Yesterday, I had that exclusive interview with the mother of Xana Kernodle, and Karen Northington told us that she was devastated that her lawyer had dropped her to instead represent her daughter's accused killer, Brian Koberger. There was a lot to unpack there, the conflict of interest issues, etc., and there still is, and I suspect it will be. Tonight, we're going to talk about what she now says she wants to see happen to Brian Koberger, and that is a fascinating story in itself. I'm going to get to that in just a moment. I'm also going to have a complete wrap-up of the Murdaugh murder trial today. They brought out a gun in court. They brought out body cam video in court. They just wouldn't let us see the body cam. They let us hear it, and they're going to let us see it. And it is a key star witness in this case, because the prosecutors say something just wasn't right about Alec Murdaugh the night his wife and son died. Prosecutors say that, but the defense says, how would you behave if your wife and son just died at someone else's hands? Going to get into that too. And then also this incredible story out of Memphis. 5 police officers charged today with second-degree murder in the beating death of someone they were trying to arrest. So what does the body cam there show? Because we are going to see it. And so far, all the officials involved have said when they saw it, they have nothing good to say. All of that is coming up ahead. First, I want to start, though, with that exclusive interview that we did with Xana Kernodle's mother, Karen Northington. Like I said, yesterday she said it's a conflict of interest. Not only is it that her lawyer dropped her for her daughter's accused killer, she said she was also my power of attorney, and now says she has no idea who's got control over her. She also says she wasn't even notified that the lawyer was dropping her. She instead learned from social media when her friend saw it and notified her. So as if that weren't a serious issue for Brian Koberger's attorney, Ann Taylor may have a bigger problem, because it turns out she's also represented 2 other parents, which now makes 3 parents of those murder victims. Maddie Mogan's father, Ben Mogan, and Maddie Mogan's stepmom, Corey Hattrick Mogan, were also represented by this attorney. So think about this. Ann Taylor is representing Brian Koberger, but she also represented the parents of Maddie Mogan, the stepmom and the dad. And she also represented the mother of Xana Kernodle. If that isn't a conflict of interest in what very assuredly could end up a death penalty case, then I'm not so sure I know this business anymore. But this, make no mistake, this could be a death penalty case. They just don't get any more serious than that. You cross every T, you dot every I, you vet everything. So my suspicion is we are probably going to have a hearing on this, and there may be even in-camera hearings with the judge who's going to ask that attorney, tell me everything about every meeting your office had, and you in particular had, with those 3 parents of those 4 victims. It doesn't get more serious when you're talking about capital punishment. We're not there yet. They have not said capital punishment yet. That is a critical issue in this case. But I have to be honest, in my line of work, if you're going to have capital punishment, if you're going to have a death penalty, what do you have it for, if not for the kind of crime that Brian Koberger is accused of? That's coming up ahead. So I had a very important question for Karen Northington, Xana Kernodle's mother. When it comes to capital punishment, when it comes to the death penalty, Kaylee Gonzalez's parents were crystal clear. They wanted nothing short of a death penalty for Brian Koberger if he is convicted. So what about Karen Northington? She lost her daughter too. I want to play this part of the exclusive interview so that you can hear for yourself what she has to say. What do you want to see happen to Brian Koberger?
I want to see him pay for what he's done. I'm not interested in a death penalty. That's not who I am. I don't believe in that. But I do think that he should spend the rest of his days in prison.
Do you plan to attend the hearings and his trial if there is one?
I haven't decided yet. If I will be able to do that.
So, Kara, what was your first reaction when you learned that your former attorney is representing the man accused of killing your daughter?
I'm heartbroken. I'm heartbroken because I trusted her. She pretended that she was wanting to help me, and to find that out that she's representing him, I can't even convey how betrayed I feel.
Have you had a chance to speak with her about this?
No, I've spoken with her. I found out through a friend who found it on Reddit. So,
you found out through a friend through social media. You weren't notified by Ann Taylor, your attorney, herself?
Right now.
And have you tried to reach out to her?
No, I just found out today, literally. So, yeah.
So, I mean, just so many thoughts. It's so incredible that there is this connection. Are you going to try to fight this at all?
Well, yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Because as I understand it, this would require a waiver, something that you sign and that he would sign in order for her to go ahead and be able to do this legitimately. I can imagine the way your reaction is that you are not interested in signing a waiver to allow her to continue on.
Right, exactly. And I'd already given her power of attorney. I'd already signed over power of attorney so that she could help me with getting into rehab and whatnot. And so, I mean, I don't understand how she could do this. I don't understand what happens now. Does she still have power of attorney, or what goes on now?
If you were able to say something to Brian Kohberger, what message would you want to send? I just want to know why. I just want to know why. Why did he do this? Why did he take these kids? Why? What did they do to him? Because I can't imagine them doing anything that deserved for him to murder them. Again, that's Kara Northington, Xana Kernodle's mother, speaking with us exclusively, and you heard what she said. She does not want to see the death penalty in this case against her daughter's accused killer. I think that's significant because prosecutors will confer with families about what they want to see, but there are 4 families here. There are 4 victims, and they all have a say. And so far, we've already heard from Kaylee Gonzalez's family that they 100% want the death penalty for Brian Kohberger. So this will be a complicated process, not just for the prosecutors, but also for these families as they move forward in this. That is, if it ever gets to trial. I said that because we are still 6 months away, right, from the next hearing. And anything can happen. As in the case of Chris Watts, it was very quick. He took a deal and he went away for life. And that was that. Never had to hear from him again. I want to mention something that a lot of people on social media have been talking about. And I'm going to get very personal here, so just bear with me, if you will. There were a lot of people who were very upset that we ran this interview. And some of the comments that I read upset me because I look at Kara Northington as a woman who has admitted that she has struggled with addiction mightily. She admitted on television that she was in rehab and needed help from her attorney to get there. Her struggles are real. And the fact that she lost her daughter to a ghastly crime is real. And she is a victim in all of this. And she deserves a say. She deserves a say from the very get-go because she's been victimized as a family member of a murder victim. And I do not care where she spends her evenings, or whether she's been in jail, or whether she needed a public defender. She has a voice. She deserves to speak. And when this happened with her attorney, she 100% gets to speak. She has a dog in this fight because her attorney is now representing her daughter's accused killer. Let it sink in. She has a right to speak. She has a case. And I think Ann Taylor has explaining to do. And to that end, we called Ann Taylor's office. Understandably, she can't get back to me. There's a gag order in this case, so she can't respond. But at some point, she's going to have to respond. And for anyone out there who thinks this is somehow sinking the case against Brian Kohberger, let me be honest with you. A conflict of interest for a death penalty case can overturn a case. So if you're worried about this, you should be. You should be worried that an attorney who is not fit to serve as an attorney because of a conflict should not be in a death penalty case, lest the state of Idaho wants to spend a whole bunch more money and a whole bunch more emotion to have to retry this case again. And I am pretty sure nobody wants that. Again, the gag order precludes Ann Taylor from speaking with us about it, but we did reach out nonetheless. There is a lot to unpack here, obviously. Unfortunately, we've got two of the best people to help me do that. Stacey Honowitz is a 34-year veteran of the Florida State Attorney's Office and the supervisor of the Sex Crimes and Child Abuse Unit. Ken Belkin is New York's criminal defense attorney. He currently gets cases assigned to him by a judge, and he defends them. He is on the assigned counsel panel. Stacey, as the prosecutor, I'd like you to go first here. Do you expect that the prosecutor in this particular case is going to put forth a motion pretty quickly to try to sort all of this out?
Well, I mean, you've covered it all in the very beginning. You've covered every issue that has to go on in this case, and it's about this conflict. So it's very rare that you see the prosecutor come forward and say there's a conflict, because we generally don't ever know about it. It's different in this case because everybody knows about it. You normally see the defense attorney come into court and tells the court, you need to assign a special public defender because we have a conflict. They are always the one that brings it up because, again, the prosecutor doesn't know anything, doesn't know the relationship between the clients, doesn't know how long they've met with the client, if they even met with the client. You know, you have to remember, in the public defender's office, just like in the state attorney's office, the cases are assigned. So we don't know, once that case was assigned, did that person actually go and see the client? Is it just a name on the list now that it's going to be a potential client? But in this case, evidently, she did spend time with this mother because she turned over some kind of power of attorney. She asked her to help her get into rehab. And so a prosecutor is going to say there is a conflict because that's a witness for me. And there's special confidences that you might know. And now you're representing the person that killed her daughter. So yes,
it's also, you know, Stacey, it's also just like the smell test too, right? Like everything that you just said, yes, but also just the smell test of pristine justice. And maybe, Ken, you can jump in here as well. Yesterday, I said it was one parent that had been represented by Ann Taylor. Now it's three parents of the deceased, of the murder victims being represented by Ann Taylor, who's representing the murder defendant. So it gets worse. But I do have to ask you about the public defender system because I want to give her the benefit of the doubt. I thought maybe it was just a mix-up with the name Karen Northington, not Kernodle, and it turns out the warrant says Kara Kernodle. Very unique name, not easy to forget. But there are only 13 of these death-qualified public defenders in the state of Idaho. So take me from there and tell me where all of this could be an innocent mistake.
Well, sure, and this is what we call the appearance of impropriety. It's not clear a conflict exists, but it appears like there's something improper going on here. She represents the mother of a victim that was murdered by a man she now represents. Not only that, she represented that mother, two mothers in fact, but one of those mothers she represented on 4 cases, one of which is currently pending now. A potential conflict has arisen. The person who potentially murdered her daughter is being hauled before the court, and she's been potentially being assigned to that case. What she should have done was to decline that representation. She did something the opposite. She's put in a notice of withdrawal of the victim's mother's case, which is totally improper. Because if a potential conflict arises, it doesn't mean the lawyer is served with a menu of options they can choose which client to represent. Conflict of interest laws are in place because there is a relationship already. There is an attorney-client relationship. Confidences have been conveyed. There is confidential material that's been shared, and you don't want to betray those confidences. You don't get to pick and choose which cases you take on a conflict of interest. You stay with the existing relationship, and you would decline the new one. That is the proper thing to do here, which it appears she did the exact opposite.
And Stacey, just weigh in again on how serious this is, right? Like, as I understand it, every jurisdiction is a little different. The judge could pull them in to chambers and say, tell me everything before this gets out in public. And I want to know every single meeting that you had with these three parents. But you tell me how it works.
Well, listen, every jurisdiction is different, and they will handle it the best way that they possibly can. But this is now on the news every single, it's been headlines all day today. So something has to take place. You're talking about a capital murder case, and everything you said is correct. You want to go in with clean hands. You don't want to try this case all over again. The worst thing you can do is to have the lawyer go in, try this case, and we knew that these conflicts existed. So a myriad of things can happen. The prosecutor can take it upon himself to say, listen, judge, what's going on here? We need to have a hearing. You will have an in-camera hearing because nobody will ever be able to know what those confidences were unless the judge orders her to disclose who she spoke to and when and for how long. But the defense attorney is 100% right. It is the appearance right now. You've got two parents that have already met with her, had confidences with her, and now she's on this other case. So somebody somewhere is going to, drag them into court and let us know what's going on. She's got to be the one to tell why she did what she did.
So listen, this conversation continues. Stacey Honowitz and Ken Belkin, thank you both for your wisdom on this. It's just disturbing, upsetting. I hope they sort this out. Thank you.
Thanks for having us, Ash.
Coming up, it is all about the evidence. And there is nothing like seeing a big old long gun being pulled out in the front of a courtroom. See that box? That's called the evidence box. The yellow tape cut and the gun brought out. This happened in South Carolina today. What's the significance of it? It happened right in front of Alex Murdaugh. But what was even more intriguing was watching him listen to his own voice on the night of the murders. Was it a man distraught over losing his wife and son? Or was it a conniving killer trying to fool everybody? You're going to hear it next.
Yeah, kind of hard for her to sell that one. Last night she said she thought he was innocent. So, I'll turn YouTube around. It's a little dark right now. So I'm looking at the YouTube people also. So real quick while we're on break, for those of y'all who've been coming in, everybody who's been following and gifts and stuff, thank you guys so much. What I was telling people earlier is that I'm going to be doing a contest, a giveaway. I don't know exactly what, but it'll be at least $100, both on Instagram and on YouTube. And so I haven't figured out exactly what it is. Maybe I'll give a couple options to the winner. But basically you just have to follow me there and then there and YouTube, for whichever contest or both. And once Instagram gets to 10,000, which I'm not too far away, and YouTube gets to 5,000, which I'm not too far away, then I will announce a giveaway and we'll let somebody win. So I could do a Gabby Petito sweatshirt from the foundation too. That's not really $100 though. So, but I could totally do that. I will think of something good, whatever it is. So, and it could be as simple as a $100 Visa gift card or Amazon card. So all you have to do is follow. There's no, thank you, Carrie. There's no special thing that you have to do. That's it. I think I can do better than the shirts, but no, and of course the follows on here too. And I'll probably do another giveaway when I get to, I don't know. It's going to be a while from now on TikTok, but when I get to 750, if I get to 750, I will do a big giveaway on TikTok. I can do better for y'all than just a hoodie. I think a lot of you would want, because there's a lot of people who who might be following for the first time and they might not want that, but we can figure something out. They might just want money. I like money. Money's a good giveaway, I think. And then I will do bigger giveaways for the 15,000 and 10,000 marks for IG and YouTube, respectively. I'm not 600,000. I'm at 522 on here. I wish I was at 600. So, yeah, money's always good, especially with it. You know what? If I hit $1 million, I could do a giveaway for the weekend at one of my cabins. I could totally do that. I would do that for $1 million. So I'm paying for subscribers. Yeah, I guess it's not that I'm paying for subscribers. I'm bribing for subscribers. That's what I'm doing. I'm bribing for subscribers. No, it's not really that. I mean, yes, I want to do that, but it's also a way to show appreciation. A lot of creators do stuff, grow and they don't do anything. It's one of those things where, I appreciate the people that follow me. I've done one giveaway before too, and it was a pretty cool thing. It was unique. I don't know if I can repeat that particular one. Like, that was a good one, but we can figure something. So how about a week? I'd have to start making some money on YouTube for that to happen. Or give you a week in slow season, which is where I am now. Yeah, I have 3 cabins and they're all Airbnbs, yes. As long as it's not any Backstreet Boys merch. Okay, so you don't want Backstreet Boys merch, Michelle. You just want NSYNC. Got it. All the cabins, 2 of them are in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, and 1 is in Gatlinburg and the Arts and both of the Pigeon Forge ones are phenomenal locations, and the Gatlinburg one is in the great location too, Arts and Crafts District. It depends on which one's covering, Miranda. It depends. I would be happy. When I first started on this, I would do like Airbnb, like investment property. I did like a couple videos on that. Nobody really seemed to care, so I stopped doing it. What do you have to do to rent one? Back on. I'll tell you next break. Remind me.
I've been in a lot of courtrooms. I've
turn YouTube
covered
back
a lot
around.
of trials, and I'll tell you what, I love it when they do show and tell. Because sometimes it can get boring in there. Sometimes it's all legalese, and then like the phone guy comes and talks about phone records. But this day in court in the Alex Murdaugh trial, right away, right out of the gate, this happened. They open up the evidence box. I kind of knew what was in there. I kind of guessed, but it's a little like you got to wait for the cop, because he brings it out and he shows the courtroom the camo shotgun. Unless you think that's the murder weapon, it ain't. Usually it's the murder weapon they bring out and show. No, instead they showed Paul Murdaugh's gun, the murder victim. Because his father, Alec Murdaugh, went and grabbed that gun, he told police, because he was scared. He was scared those killers were somewhere still out there. He discovered his wife and son dead, mutilated, shot to hell. So he grabbed his son's shotgun because he was scared they were still out there. So that's a big piece, right? Now you know the mood that Alex Murdaugh says he was in when the cops arrived. So what you need to know next is what the cops thought when they arrived. And they wear body cams, right? And those body cams record video. And the video was played in court, and we weren't allowed to see it. Because it was so graphic. Because it was so gory. Because it was so awful. But it was also really telling. So we got to hear it. And what's fascinating is Alex's reaction, listening to himself as the cops arrived. Come on.
This is the firearm you brought from inside the house?
Yes, sir. This is a long story. My son was in a boat race a few months back. He's been getting threats. My stuff's been denying stuff we didn't take serious. He's been getting punched. I noticed, so I know that's what it is.
What do you notice about the body physically laid there, the whole body?
Feet towards the feed room, head towards the driveway, hands tucked underneath the body, fairly saturated in blood. Majority of the head is gone. There's a lot of tissue, what appears to be at least some of the brain or most of the brain lying on the opposite side from me to the victim.
That's pretty much the reaction I think a lot of parents would have if they heard the description of their dead child in court, a description that was that awful. He was weeping, sobbing, and shaking for most of the day.
He was faking
right there
it.
beside his defense attorneys. Eventually, they stopped even trying to console him because it just went on and on and on. But was he like that the night of the murders? Because prosecution says when those cops arrived, something just wasn't right. They said he wasn't right. But that's for the jury to decide. And one person who can tell you a lot about what happened today is Brian Enten, because he's been covering this from the get-go. He joins me now live. Brian, there was a lot to that. Not only the emotion and the reaction, but the first things out of Alex Murdaugh's mouth when the police arrived effectively was, there was a boat crash, and we've been getting threats. And I just knew that's what it is. I knew that's what it is. So a lot of people are wondering, was this a devastated father who was terrified that maybe these people who've been threatening his family over the boat crash were still lurking out there in the woods, or was he shifting and trying to shift the blame? So take it from there.
Yeah, you're right. First thing police say that Alec Murdaugh brought up was the deadly boat crash. And according to the testimony today, the Alec Murdaugh that we saw in court today, the crying and crying and crying. He cried all day, actually. It wasn't like one moment in the morning. He pretty much cried throughout the entire day. That is not the Alec Murdaugh that some of these deputies say that they encountered when they responded to the murder at their residence. They say he wasn't crying at all. And what was interesting is the jurors, they had their eyes on Alec Murdaugh for the entire day. I spoke with Joe McCullough. He is a big-time South Carolina attorney. He was in the courtroom. He also happens to represent Connor Cook, who was one of the young men on the boat during the fatal boat crash involving Paul Murdaugh. I want you to hear his reaction to what was happening in court with those jurors.
I noticed what I noticed in every murder trial. The jury is looking at the accused. They are, I always explain to my clients, they're going to be 24 very specific eyeballs looking at you every minute of the trial. So you have to explain to your client to not, emote emotionally when you need to.
There's a lot of emotion.
And there was a great deal of emotion. So, the jury was very attentive to that. They were attentive to the video and the photographs and the testimony.
You heard him right there. The jurors' eyeballs, they were not as much on the body cam video as they were on Alec Murdaugh, watching his every move throughout the day. I want to bring in Andrew Davis, reporter who's been covering this since the very beginning, News Nation partner. Andrew, what did you make of it? I mean, I expected some tears, but again, it was like, he was like sobbing. There was like snot coming out of his nose at one point.
It was really heavy. It was surprising how much was coming out of him with this emotion, especially on multiple occasions that was going on. Now, it's a mixed bag. You listen to it and say that's a grieving father who's still grieving for the loss of his children. But yet you talk to some other people, including some News Nation partners that we have right here, some of the lawyers who say, but he's a flim-flam now. He's done this entire time, that he's stolen from people financially, he's dealt with this, and he's just making up another show to make sure that everybody sees how upset he is. But when he was there on the scene, they said he never cried. Whether that's a problem or not, they're not sure. And also that he was definitely watching some of these people, these investigators, as they were going through. Major Chapman over here from Colleton County Sheriff said, when we were starting to go near these tire tracks that were there, and we can talk about that, but the tire tracks that were nearby, he said he was giving me the side eye. They were looking there, and then when he didn't think we were looking, he went back to being upset again.
Yeah, Andrew brought up the tire tracks and the footprints, Ashley. This was a big moment for the defense. They said there were tire tracks, footprints that the police didn't document, and that was the big point that they tried to make today, Ashley.
Wait for it. They'll keep doing it. The defense will hammer away at policing. That's what you do. I was also surprised with the jurors with their hands over their mouths. That's what many of them were reacting to the gruesomeness of that body cam. Buster, though, guys, Buster, I did not see him cry. So I'm going to keep my eyes on Buster as well. That's something I just find a fascinating dynamic. He's right behind his dad. Andrew Davis and Brian Anton, thank you both. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Ashley.
All right, so put yourself in his shoes, especially if Alex Murdaugh is innocent. The guy just found out his wife and son were brutally murdered. Their bodies are mutilated in front of him. How is he supposed to act? And do different people seem shocked and grieved differently? Can a person grieve in a manner that's unbecoming to a man who's just lost half of his family? And can that get you convicted? There is an answer to that. You're going to hear it next.
All right, what's going on there? Okay, I gotta say this. I'm getting, normally I really like that with Banfield and with News Nation in general, that they're not very biased. But Ashley said last night that she believes Murdaugh is innocent. I do not believe that Murdaugh is innocent at all. And the fact that she is putting this bias on it versus just being completely objective. Like, it's one thing for me on social media to be like, I think this. So I know I'm being kind of hypocritical right now, but she's on TV as a real actual journalist, not like somebody like me who just, summarizes and gives you guys the information. So for her to put her own spin on it kind of pisses me off. I'm going to say, that's all I'm saying about that. I don't really like that. We'll keep watching her, but if I had a better option for the Murdaugh case at this time at night to watch, we would do that. Yes, Banfield last night flat out said that she thinks that he's innocent. Dude is a con man. He is a con man. He's conned people out of millions of dollars. They're exhuming the housekeeper's body. There's 5 deaths associated with this family and these people, right? 5 or 4. 4. Well, there's no, there's 5. Yeah, there's 5. There's Mallory, Gloria, Stephen, and then Paul and Maggie. That is what JB said, that they shouldn't give an opinion. And by the way, for those of y'all who are interested, I am live on YouTube as well. And I will, innocent. Yeah, this has gone on for generations. Exactly. This is a family that has been corrupt for generations, that have made millions of dollars off of off the lives of other people and the trust of other people. No, it's 5. It's 5 dead. It's the boat wreck, the housekeeper who fell, the Sam Smith thing, which is Stephen Smith thing, which isn't. I mean, it's them, but they never. It was never whatever officially, but it's definitely them. And then now, Paul and how many do I have on YouTube? 61. And as I said to people on here as well, I am doing going to do a giveaway once I get to. Once I get to, when I say 10,000 on Instagram, which I'm not far off of, and 5,000 on YouTube, I will be doing giveaways on both platforms. So 2 separate giveaways. All you have to do is follow, and then when it's giveaway time, I will make sure to make the announcement that the giveaway is happening and any instructions that have to be done, so I know that you're entered, and that's it. I think that Stephen Smith, I don't know. So I'll tell you what my theory is, Dina. My theory on Stephen Smith was that Buster and Stephen were in a relationship of some kind. I have links in my link tree for all but one of them. The little place doesn't have a link in my link tree, but the other ones do. Hey there. I know she just said it based on the opening arguments, but I think that what happened is Buster or Stephen Smith threatened to out Buster, or they got in some kind of a deal, and even though being gay is very, I think, not something to judge people on, and something that is much more widely accepted, at least than it used to be in small town South Carolina and small town southern cities. It is, and for families like that, it is not okay in their minds to be gay. That is not my opinion. I don't agree with that opinion. But if you had something like that and they were threatening, somebody was threatening to out Buster, which is again my theory, then he's charged for 2 murders right now and about 103 financial crimes. I think we might be back on. Yep.
I got a question.
Turn YouTube back around.
Can you be convicted of something based on evidence that isn't actually entered into the record? You think I'm going to say no, right? But I'm going to say yes. Your face. You can be convicted based on your face. Believe it. I've seen it. And this guy, Alex Murdaugh, has a lot of faces. Today in court, this was pretty much it. He was weeping almost all the way through the 911 call, through the body cam video when the police arrived. You could see the reporters behind him taking notes, taking a look at him. It was big. It was newsworthy, right? His reaction. The jurors saw everything. But the jurors also get to see his face on body cam tape. We don't get to see it, not now, but we will. They're going to redact it. They're going to release it. But there was something else that happened on the body cam tape that you can hear. I want you to listen to this. And about halfway through, listen for it. He sees an officer walking by and he says, "Hey, what's up?" That's kind of odd. Amid all this chaos and a double murder. Hey, what's up? So I want you to listen for it, but I also want you to watch Alex as he listens to all of this in court.
Name's Maggie Murdoch. Margaret Branstetter Murdoch. How you doing?
What's their birthday?
Pause right there. What did the defendant just say? Let me back it up.
Margaret Branstetter Murdoch. How you doing?
What are we saying to the right of this image?
So on the right would be Maggie's body, also laying face down on the ground. A large pool of blood around her head.
And we see an individual standing. Who is that?
The individual standing in the background would be Mr. Murdaugh.
The person previously identified in this courtroom?
That's correct.
So it got so bad that, his attorneys had to put a filing box in front of the monitor so that he didn't see that body cam video, because obviously what's in the body cam video? Dead bodies, 2 of them. And the conditions of those bodies are nothing that anybody should ever see. And yet those jurors had to see them. I want to bring in 2 people right now who can tell me a lot about what body language tells you about a defendant. Robin Drake is a retired FBI special agent and chief of the counterintelligence behavioral analysis program. And Mike Hemlett Jr. is an attorney for the family of Stephen Smith. Stephen was found dead in the middle of the road in 2015. And the investigation has reopened into his case because of what's happened in the Murdaugh case as well. And there are a lot of suspicions that perhaps the Murdaughs may have been involved in that case. All right, I will get to that case in a moment. But first, Robin, just your overall take on what you saw in court today. The Murdaugh that was at the defense table and the Murdaugh that we're hearing on the audio tape, especially at the time when he says, "Hi, how you doing?" to an officer.
Yeah, Ashley, you brought up a really good point a few minutes ago, and that was he seems to have a lot of faces, and that's what I'm seeing. He's got generational practice of being in different roles, and I think that's what we're seeing. We're seeing the lawyer role, we're seeing the father role, we're seeing the problem solver role. What's interesting is there seems to be incongruence between the behavior he had at the scene and the behavior he's having in the courtroom. One thing about veracity that people are looking for with trustworthiness and truthfulness is the continuity of behavior. So if you're in the courtroom and you're reliving the experience that you had in that moment, it should be congruent with that same experience. And so if he had a lack of emotion because he's in problem-solving mode in the moment, like he was on the crime scene, it sounded like, it should be congruent in the courtroom and vice versa. But we're seeing incongruence between the two. I find that pretty fascinating.
So, Mike, I know that you don't come from the behavioral analysis side of things, but you're an attorney and you're close to this. You've got the Smith case, and obviously there's probably not a lot of love lost at this point with the Murdochs. I'd love to get your top line on what you had been seeing in court and then hearing about back in that community.
Thank you. Stephen's murder has not yet been officially solved. It's still an open investigation with the state law enforcement division, and we've been so pleased with the work that they've been doing, and we're very optimistic that they're going to get to a result. So the murder trial that's going on right now has virtually no connection to that investigation that we know of right now. But I've tried lots of murder cases, and of course, like you, I've been in the courtroom during lots of murder cases, and we are very early into this one. In talking about his body language and the way that he's acting, I'm not an expert, but neither is the jury. And the members of the jury are the only opinions that matter. Your viewers and other people who are paying attention to this will have as many opinions as there are observations, but it is the 12 members of the jury who ultimately decide this case whose opinions really matter.
And it's amazing what they say after they render a verdict. Some of the things that we would never imagine lodge into their brains is first and foremost for all of them. They have a whole different view. They have a whole different vantage point. The whole presentation is for them, not for us. So it usually comes off a lot differently for us. So Robin, I do want to ask you one thing. I don't even know if I should ask it, but I have to because I couldn't stop seeing it. And that was that Buster, who is seated behind his father, who lost his brother and his mother, and now may see his father put away for life. I expected to see a lot more emotion out of Buster on those terrible tapes and those descriptions, all those awful things that were happening in court, but I didn't. And I know that the jury sees him too. Is there any effect that the emotions of the son sitting behind his father might have on his father's guilt or innocence?
It's a rough one to tell because you don't know what's going through a young man's mind that's facing so much trauma and grief in this moment, of potential grief. I did find it striking, his behavior, and it actually reminded me of what we're seeing in the father as well. We're seeing a generational problem solver. He's a defense attorney, prosecutor. I mean, he's done all these things, and he learned it from his parents and his grandparents, and I think the son's probably learning the same thing. Work the problem and learn how to put aside your emotions sometimes. And maybe that's what's going through his mind, or maybe it's an emotional disconnect too. We just don't know that, but it was striking, no doubt.
I do want to mention a video that we're seeing right now. Some people thought that it was him smirking. Others thought it was him grimacing because he was moving around. He's sitting on a hard bench all day, 2 days in a row now. It could have been either. I was just sort of taken by the fact that he wasn't just emotionally crushed by the descriptions of his mom and his brother, but his father was just apoplectic. So can I just finish with you, Mike, and ask if Stephen's family is watching this process, if you've had opportunities to speak with the Murdochs, or if there's been a real wall between you in the process of this investigation of Stephen's death?
I have not talked to the Murdochs or anybody connected to the Murdochs. The last time, honestly, the last time I talked to Alex Murdoch is after the boat crash. I ran into him, and I've known him for years. I've known his family for years. I knew his father and mother. When I was a prosecutor, we moved in the same circles. But I've not talked to them since I've gotten involved with the Smith investigation. And the family is, of course, watching. They're watching like the rest of that community. I mean, one of the things that we've gotten from this saga is that This entire section of South Carolina was under, I would call it a cloud of oppression, and that is being lifted through all of this. There is justice happening, there is light being shown. That whole community is watching this trial with bated breath to see what's going to happen. And we're early in it. I mean, we're very early in it. I've heard estimates of 2 to 3 weeks. I would agree with that based on the number of witnesses. So I think there's going to be a lot of twists and turns, and that community is watching closely, and the Smiths are part of that community. And
please give our thoughts to the Smiths, to Stephen's family. I know this has got to be brutal for them as they continue to wait for their justice for the death of their son. And also, Robin Dree, thank you for being with us. Thank you both for being with me tonight on this.
Thank you, Ashley.
Still to come, outrage and high anxiety in Memphis, Tennessee. Outrage over a deadly beating that has now got 5 ex-police officers facing second-degree murder charges. Anxiety over the imminent release of a video that captured it all. What might happen when that video is shown? That's next.
All right. I'll mute that real quick. So that's a little bit of an update on the Murdaugh trial. I guess you saw that. I'll do a recap for those of y'all who missed it. But y'all, I know that we kind of dropped off after we got past the Idaho stuff, but I'm telling people need to be into this story. And yeah, the Memphis thing coming up. Y'all let me know. Do y'all want to continue watching and watch the Memphis thing? I'm going to do a video on it at some point in the very near future, maybe tonight or tomorrow. Or do y'all want to just go straight into conversation? Just, let me know either way. Yeah, they are redheads. They are redheads. That goes for you guys on YouTube also, Here's the thing. I think that he did do it because I think it's always the husband. I'm seeing. Keep watching. Okay, people are saying to watch. Okay, watch it is. Except here, they're saying conversation. Okay, we don't have that much longer left, so. There's not a mistress that I know of. I wasn't stereotyping redheads. My brother was that color red, especially when he was young. Okay, well, it's almost not that much left, so we'll watch it, then But it's always the husband, though. Always the husband, right? I mean, we've learned that. We've all done enough about true crime to know that it's always the husband or the boyfriend. No, I'm not saying that redheads are bad at all. Okay, sorry. Oh, gotcha. Okay. My brother was as ginger as they come. You like the YouTube? Yeah, I like it. The YouTube side too. It's more chill. And actually, when I'm not doing both of these, and I'm on YouTube exclusively, which I may end up moving to YouTube exclusively for the conversation when this is done. Then the things that I can do on it are there's so much more. I mean, this is on an iPad at this moment. You seriously wonder why he did it. So I actually did a video, Jen. If you want to go again, we don't have to go into time of the commercial break. You can look at my Murdaugh murder playlist, and I think there's not a whole lot of videos in there yet because the trial is new, but I did talk about the reason why he might have done it. I'm well past my watch hours now. I'm just trying to grow. So like I said, for those of y'all who are just in here who haven't heard me say it 15,000 times already, Instagram has gone up about 30 people since I started talking about this. I don't know what YouTube's at because I can't see it. But anyways, if you follow me on Instagram, follow me on YouTube. Once I get to 5,000 on YouTube and 10,000 on Instagram, which I'm not far from either, I will be doing a giveaway. I'm probably for that one going to do just like $100 like Visa gift card or Amazon gift card, something like that. No, there's no updates on Anna Walsh at this point. Oh, you guys are welcome. Yeah, exactly. Erica goes, I was trying to think of a case where we thought it was the husband, but it wasn't, and I'm blanking. Yeah, exactly. It's always the husband. Yeah, all of this. So if y'all have missed any of this and want to, it's been streaming on YouTube as well. YouTube lives are saved, so you can go back and stream it. All you have to do for now is just follow me on whichever platform, either one or both platforms, whichever one you want to win on. And then when it gets close, I'll do a video on like, hey, here's how to enter.
Tyree Nichols was pulled over for reckless driving. 3 days later, he was dead because of a fight he got in with the police and the beating that he got as a result. 2 weeks after that, those 5 police officers were fired. And 1 week after that, today, they were charged with second-degree murder, all 5 of them, and kidnapping, and a slew of other charges as well. The police chief in Memphis had this to say. This is Sherilyn Davis.
This incident was heinous, reckless, and inhumane. And in the vein of transparency, when the video is released in the coming days, you will see this for yourselves.
The video is likely to be released tomorrow evening, Friday night, and a lot of people are concerned about what might be the backlash. But so far, what I can tell you is this: second-degree murder, aggravated assault, aggravated kidnappings, official misconduct, and official oppression. All 5 officers are charged with those charges. And joining me now is Cheyenne Daniel. She's the race and politics reporter for The Hill. Cheyenne, those are really serious charges. And I mean, the alacrity, it seems, with which the police department, was able to investigate this, and then the DA was able to charge it, seems to be surprising to a lot of people.
They investigated this very quickly, which many are saying is because of what was seen on body camera footage, and full camera footage has to be incredibly damning to these officers, and that's what really spurred this investigation to be so quick, although it is still underway.
Can I ask you this? So often the headline has been, white police officer kills unarmed black man. And now all of a sudden people are commenting that these are 5 black officers and the victim is black. Other people saying race has nothing to do with this, but this is America and race has so much to do with everything. Is race going to play a part in this?
It is very interesting because right now what we are hearing from individuals such as the NAACP chief in the Memphis chapter is saying that race in this case is not what's important. What is important is that justice be served, because apparently whatever is on this video is so heinous, as we heard the chief of police say, that is what needs to be the focus, not the race of these police officers. So it does add another layer of complication with some in Memphis who have been saying that it has been disappointing for them to see this. So it will be interesting to see how that is going to impact on a larger scale nationwide.
Cheyenne, the DA just mentioned tonight that other charges still might be coming. Wouldn't be clear about whether the charges were for these officers or for other officers, because the investigation is continuing. And the chief also mentioned that we aren't going to see some of the video because the video just sort of kicks in part of the way through the first confrontation. It's the first confrontation, pepper spray, Tyree runs, they catch him, and there's a second confrontation. So we may not get all of it, but I'm going to have to talk to you again after tomorrow when they release the video, because I'm very concerned about public safety. Thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you.
Cheyenne Daniels joining us from The Hill. Hearing audio from a videotape in court, that's one thing. And it can be really super powerful. In fact, it's what made Alex Murdaugh cry in court today. But the full video is still coming. And we're all going to be able to see just what he was like when police showed up on the scene, where his wife and son were murdered. But are we going to see anything differently than the jurors did? Back right after this.
Who's on it with Jardians?
All right. So I won't pimp my YouTube and Insta on this one because we literally did it like 3 minutes ago. So after this, I'll stay on TikTok for a few minutes, then switch exclusively over to YouTube for conversations, since all of that will be saved. I'm not going to stay up too terribly late tonight because I'm tired. We're having to check out tomorrow, and I don't know if we're going to go to a hotel or just go home. Haven't figured that out yet. Memphis is challenging. It's actually part of my territory, and it wasn't part of my territory for a while, but it is again. And Memphis has some really great parts, but it's got some really scary parts too. Anyway, so I think that I can't speak to that, Jamie or Jamie. What do I do for a living? Well, yeah, because we have a turn. Well, we have a check out of our own town because we have a turn tomorrow. Somebody's coming to rent it for the weekend. I am a pharmaceutical rep. You live there? Okay, so Allie, years and years ago, like back in the 80s to early 90s, I lived in Germantown. Yeah, you're 100% right on that too, Carrie. Well, I'm sure. Do you guys see? I don't know if you guys follow. Okay, awesome. Yeah, it was very different back in those days. If you're ever in Germantown though, and you want some good barbecue, go to the Germantown Commissary. I'm not even kidding. Yeah, I mean it was years ago. I lived in Germantown from the time I was like 5 years old, 4 years old, 5 years old until I was 10. No, I was actually born in Indiana, then lived here then moved to Illinois, then moved to Memphis, then moved to Atlanta, which is where I spent the bulk of my life. Miami's in there at some point. Then I went to school at Georgia Southern, came back to Atlanta, moved to Texas, and then now we're in Tennessee. So I've kind of been all over. Yeah, Germantown is a suburb of Memphis, yes. Memphis has some great stuff. Memphis has some great food too. Yeah, I'll start to say this, and I might not have enough time before it comes on. If not, we'll talk about it on YouTube. Did you guys hear about the restaurant in Kentucky where there was and this is not me being political, I'm just telling you the groups, I'm just giving you the facts, that the Central Kentucky Republican women were meeting, and they had one of the officers involved in Breonna Taylor's murder, like as a guest speaker, and they actually played the camera footage of her murder at this restaurant. And it was a Greek restaurant, and there were Black people there who had to basically witness this whole situation. And then the owner of the restaurant didn't really care. So again, we can talk about that on the other live too, once we get to Instagram, or not Instagram, sorry, YouTube. Yeah, if you guys don't follow Donish, the Donish guy, you should. His whole job is basically canceling people, and he's very good at what he does. All right.
What happened when police arrived at the Murdaugh family hunting grounds immediately after the murders of Maggie and Paul? What did the officers see? And when Alex Murdaugh blurted out right away that this is about the boat crash, quote, "I know that's what it is," end quote, did they suspect that he was trying to shift the attention away from himself? Or was he a distraught father terrified that whoever did this to his wife and his kid could do this to him and his other sons too? Well, we're about to find out, because the attorneys in Murdaugh's murder trial have agreed to release edited versions of those body cams. And tomorrow we're going to play them for you. News Nation will also air the full Murdaugh trial tomorrow and every day after on our website, newsnationnow.com. You can also go to our website and download our app, because that's also where you can watch the trial. And I'm going to ask the company, the big guy, to put all 4 of the shots that are streaming out of the courtroom. See how it goes. Okay, come back with me tomorrow night. see if I have success. In the meantime, thanks for watching tonight. I'll be back tomorrow night. In the meantime, Cuomo starts right now.
All right. Let me turn the lights real quick. And then we can have a chat for a little bit. And then I'm going to go watch that 90s show with Alyssa and then go to sleep because I'm tired. I have to do some videos. Okay. So let me turn around. I'm about getting ready to go to YouTube exclusively, guys, here in a minute because y'all know I'm trying to grow that. But I'll stay here for just a second while people switch over. The question that somebody asked is who would it be edited by? Basically, I don't know if it's the police or whoever's in charge of tweeting that out, because some of what I understand in that body cam footage is so horrific. Normal people probably wouldn't want to see, is my guess. So I am getting ready to switch over strictly to YouTube. What I will tell you for those of y'all who are here, if you missed Banfield tonight, I will be doing a recap on at least the Murdaugh murders tonight, and probably maybe something on the Memphis video as well. But please give me a follow on YouTube and on Instagram. Once I get to 10,000 followers on Insta and 5,000 on YouTube, I'm going to be doing a cool giveaway. At least $100, maybe something else with it. I don't know. But anyways, so thank you guys for hanging out. I'm going to go straight to YouTube right now. And I don't know that case, Annie, so I can't speak on that. I mean, there's a lot of cases out there, and I don't know all of them. So, okay, so I will see you guys over on YouTube, and yeah, talk to you there. All right, what's up, guys? Let me check something real quick here. I mean, one second. I want to see where YouTube went while we were on there, and I'll wait for people to kind of come over. All right, so YouTube went up a little bit, not a ton, but it went up a little bit. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there, guys. All right. The Madison Brooks case is awful. Yes, I did a video on the Madison Brooks case yesterday, as a matter of fact. There's a lot of bad cases out there. You guys asked me to rate that 90s show. I think it's better than that 70s show. Thank you, Michelle. Yeah, I know. I love it over here, too. I like when people, this is good. I got this little thing that says my name down here. I can scroll banners. I think it's easier to keep up with the chat. And YouTube appreciates their creators, whereas TikTok doesn't. And I'm actually also streaming at the same time on Twitter and Twitch. I throw Twitch. I don't even understand how to use Twitch, but I threw it up there because why the hell not? I was told to do it, and I think I got like 9 followers on Twitch. But anyways, what's my thoughts on the Sun? I think that I think this is a family of con artists and sociopaths. That is my thought. I really think that way about them. I don't believe them. I don't believe Alex's tears. I don't believe the emotion. You didn't just watch your wife get killed and say, "Hey, how you doing?" to somebody. Yes, it's like that. It's the same cast of that 70s show, but in the 90s. Well, sort of same cast. They're kids. And Netflix just kind of dropped it on us, and I think it's really good. Well, I'm sorry that you're alone on Twitch, Sarah, but thank you for trying it out. I can't figure out Twitch either. It's okay. If it grows any more, then we will talk about it. It is what it is. So my thoughts are facts. It's funny. Thank you for that. But anyways, I just don't buy it. Again, the guy has conned people out of millions and millions of dollars, right? Millions of dollars. Buster is supposedly a closet homosexual that supposedly due to his situation, or his whatever, got, the rumor is, he was involved, or he's at least the result of, if not involved with, Stephen Smith's death. I have both a Twitter and a Twitch. I really don't advertise my Twitter that much, but I am on Twitter. I have 10 followers on Twitch. Yay. Look at that. moving up in the world. So in my order of like the amount of people that I have, I guess 10 people on Twitch. I have 525, I think, on Twitter. I have less than 7,500, I think, on Instagram. Hold on, I'll tell you 1 second. Hold, please. I have 7,419 on Instagram. Oh, sorry, no, that's the second to highest. The third highest is like 30, right under 3,500 on this. 7,419 on Insta, and then 522,000 here. What's my Twitter? Same name. Justin on TikTok. So for the Twitter and Instagram thing is interesting. So I've only started really using Instagram and Twitter because I was told I should. And then Instagram verified me, which makes me really excited. So I want to use them more because when I asked TikTok, when I talked to them about verification, they were like, no. And they also denied JB as well a verification because, again, they don't care about their creators. But anyways, and I mean, it goes beyond just not giving you a blue check mark. But I will do like I follow like everybody you want to be involved in with these cases, and I retweet their stuff, and I'll add stuff to it. I'll post videos there as well. But some of the quick stuff or like documents, I'll post to Instagram and Twitter. So like court documents, like the Kernodle documents, Kara Northington, Kara Kernodle documents. That's there. The arrest warrant, I believe, for Alex Murdaugh is there. The 19-page affidavit is there. So I think I should have the verification too. That's how I feel. Like apparently Instagram is incredibly difficult about it. But anyways, I digress. I'm appreciative, with or without a blue check mark. I'm appreciative that Instagram gave it to me. That's a massive win, and I'm appreciative of the people that follow me, whether I have a blue check mark or not. It doesn't matter. I mean, it matters a little bit, but it's not as important as other things. So, and then when I asked them, like, well, what criteria am I missing? And they're like, well, we keep that secret. And literally, that's what they said. You see, I'll read it to you exactly. Hold on. I said to them, I want to read it to you because it's ridiculous. And then I promise we'll get back to the case. They said, where is it? I asked them, I said, they told me no, and keep making great videos. I said, could you please let me know what criteria I'm missing? As mentioned in the application, Instagram, which my understanding has much more difficult criteria, verified me with a significantly smaller following. If it's something that I can remedy, I'd like to do so. And their response was, thanks for reaching out. Our exact verification requirements are confidential, so we will not be able to share these. We encourage you to continue creating great videos. So in other words, it's whatever they want. Yeah, you don't have to keep up with all the platforms at once. Well, thank you. That's all that matters, as long as I'm verified in y'all's eyes. Oh, thank you. No way. That's awesome that you found me on Insta. No, but I'm really liking Insta. I really wasn't doing a lot with it. But okay, so there's a lot of things going on with this case. What I guess I'm not going to be on terribly long. I'll give it like 10, 15 minutes, and then I'm gonna and I'm gonna jump off. But in the meantime, I want to answer y'all's questions. I know you're so. I see. Yes, the heat miser things. It's funny. Maybe we should do a video with that. I'd like to know what questions you guys have, and I would love to answer those. Whether it's Murdaugh, the Murdaugh trial, which is what I would ideally like to talk about, but I'll not just talk about that. If you want to talk about Idaho or anything else, it doesn't even have to be. Maybe it's about the creator fund. Well, they'd have to stop suppressing my content, Tori, for them to do that, because like today, a couple of videos I made last night, including my Idaho updates, which usually get hundreds of thousands of views, got like less than 6,000. Where was Buster when this happened? I don't know where Buster was at the time. If Emmy is in here, she might be able to answer that. He was in Rockville, South Carolina when the murders happened. I don't think that he was involved in that. And I think that somebody asked earlier, like, why didn't he kill? Like, why is Buster still alive? I think that Buster is by far his favorite. Because I just do. You're curious where the truck was found. Which truck are you talking about in Idaho? Could he be covering for Buster since he tried to get someone to kill him? So him trying to get to something to kill him is that story's a little. It's weird. So so for people who don't know the case, let me kind of explain. There was a situation where Alec Murdaugh supposedly tried to get cousin Eddie to shoot him and kill him, so Buster would inherit the $11 million insurance policy. And whatever happened is the bullet grazed his head. He's fine. He's not dead. I'm gonna come back to that question in a second, Christina. And then the other night, cousin Eddie's attorney was on there saying that he's going to be taking the stand and he will tell his whole truth. And they said that if he was aiming at, I guess these people are very proud of their shots. So he said if he was aiming at Alec, he would not be alive. Basically, that he would not have missed. That Eddie doesn't miss. So then it's being said basically that he self-inflicted this wound, and then called and said that it was like some random drive-by shooting thing, and he was changing his tires, but his tires weren't really flat because he had run flats. It's so weird. And Christina says, can you explain why Alec went to the property in the first place? To kill his wife and son is my answer. That is my answer. I don't think Buster's going to, based on what we think we know about Buster, I don't think Buster's going to be the one carrying on the last name. Yeah, I think he's too much of a narcissist to commit suicide too. I think it was an insurance scheme. No, the gag order does not apply to the parents. It only applies to attorneys and law enforcement. No, I'm not familiar with the Lori Vallow case. I need to get into it because a lot of people have asked me about it, Allison, so I will. He did live at the full time, but I liked my answer. I hadn't heard about the truck yet, even myself, so I'll have to look into that. Eddie's and Brian's are not my favorite names. Yeah, there's some Christopher in there too. Yeah, he was just shooting after his wife and son was killed. Yeah, and he grabs a gun because he thinks, the story's got so many moving parts and it's so contradictory. Now, here's the thing though, like I think that he is guilty. That is my personal opinion. I think that the man's emotions are fake. I think that the man is a sociopath. You don't steal and embezzle millions upon millions of dollars and actually give a shit about other people, even your own family. You don't do that because you're putting all of them at jeopardy as well. And I think he's guilty, but do I think the state has enough information to get a guilty verdict? I don't know. I'm not overly confident, but that said, if he gets acquitted of murder, he's got 103 financial crimes against him, including tax evasion. And as we can see from Todd Crisley, the government likes to lock you up for a long time. So let's say he gets 20 years for 100 financial crimes. How old is he? Let me look. He's like 50 something now, right? Somebody will probably tell me before I can Google. I'm looking over to see his name, his age. All right, let's see how old he is. He is 64. Yeah, see, 64. So if he's 64 years old and he gets 20 years, he's 84 before he gets out. He's 84 years old before he gets out. If he gets 12 years, I mean, there's no way you have that many financial crimes. And he's admitted to some of these financial crimes. So some of them are going to just be a slam dunk. I think that one lawyer at one point on one of the shows, probably Banfield, because that's what I watched the most, said that, a rookie first-year prosecutor could get the convictions needed on the financial crimes, which is why it was kind of weird that they hadn't done them already, because then they could have tied the financial crimes back to this saying, look, he's been convicted of all these financial crimes. Here's motive. But right now it's all speculation because innocent until proven guilty, he's not been convicted of these financial crimes, despite the fact that he's even admitted to doing some of them. He doesn't have a formal conviction. So, anyways. So regardless, I think that there's a high chance that he will spend the rest of his life in jail. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm not overly confident. And Alec Murdaugh's got an incredible attorney. You know, Dick Harpootlian's a damn good. I mean, every attorney in this is good, but Dick Harpootlian, he's a good attorney. Thoughts on Ann Taylor now? I'm torn, I guess. Like, I understand. So I've been tagged in a bunch of stuff because I did a video a little while ago when I talked about the fact that she also represented Maddie's dad and stepmom, and I'm like, look, I'm not an attorney. I don't know if this is a conflict of interest or not. And we can come back, by the way, we can jump back and forth between this and Murdaugh and whatever else y'all want. But I'm like, I don't know if this is a conflict of interest or not. I'm not an attorney. And I've been tagged in stuff that says it's absolutely not a conflict of interest. It's a completely different crime. The odds of them being called as a witness, very slim, blah, blah, blah. I've then also seen the opposite, lawyers saying it's absolutely a conflict of interest. Even on Banfield, absolutely a conflict of interest. At the same time, there are 13 attorneys, public defenders in the state of Idaho that can defend a capital murder case, a death penalty case. And as far as northern Idaho goes, Ann Taylor's the only one. When was Eddie supposed to shoot Alex? Was it before or after Maggie and Paul's murder? Great question, Ashley, and after. People have already answered. It was after. Can you explain what the email sent to the judge last night regarding a leak of the jury's names mean? I haven't heard about that. I'm guessing based on the context here, Lisa, that an email was sent to the judge for the Murdaugh trial, as I'm guessing what you're saying, and it means that somebody could have information, know the names of the jurors, and threatening to leak them, which could be a problem for the case. Did Plaincoast please go back into the house the last couple of days, like for an hour or so, or did I see an old video? I haven't seen anybody go back into the house in the last few days. I haven't seen that video, but that's very possible because the house is remaining a crime scene at least until I think February 1st, and it's January 26th. So you could have very well seen people go in, or it could have been investigators for the defense. That kind of goes to what it says. The Idaho House going to be released soon, or do I think they will keep it like that until trial? As of right now, it's scheduled to no longer be a crime scene as of February 1st. But once that happens, that could change, and they could choose to keep it a crime scene longer. So, good question. Okay, I didn't see that video, so it's very likely. I would imagine it's probably more likely the defense going in there with their own investigators. You know something about a witness emailed the judge about the jurors. Gotcha. I don't know. I'll look it up. I'll look it up for sure. What are they going to do with the Idaho House? It's whatever the owner wants to do with it. It's whatever the owner wants to do with it. The thing is, the owner owns the property, and something happened there. I would imagine that insurance would probably pay to deal with any repairs that were necessary from that. But I know people they need to tear down and build another one. There's an exorbitant cost to that, and a lot of people just don't have the money to arbitrarily. I mean, I get something bad happened there. I'm not trying to sound insensitive, but to arbitrarily tear a house down and rebuild it, or tear down and not rebuild it, would cost somebody a lot of money. But yeah, there are always going to be people. Look, the house that the Bianca Tate LaBianca Tate murders happened at was rented out or sold multiple times until I think it got torn down. There are people out there that love that kind of stuff. What would you do if that happened to one of my properties? I would repair it, move on. I don't have the money to tear down a property and rebuild it. I'd have to fix whatever happened and then move on. It might not even be a cheap rental. There are people who will spend a lot of money for morbid stuff. If y'all know what I'm talking about when I said the Tate LaBianca murders, I'm talking about Charles Manson. I think the lead singer for 9 Inch Nails owned it, and somebody else at one point. So there's people that are into that morbid stuff. So yeah, I don't know. It's going to be up to the owners what they want to do. Now, what could happen, which might not be a bad idea, is the school could decide to step in, purchase the house, demolish it, or do whatever they want to do with it. There's a show on Roku about murder houses that they flip. That's interesting. Yeah, and I can record in that house. Yeah. I think I knew that. There are people that are really into that kind of stuff, guys. The whole macabre, and the whole macabre and morbid and death kind of thing. There are people that are very, very into that. I mean, think about this. Funeral directors probably aren't going to care if a murder happened in the house. I think I'd like to watch that too. Yeah, I want to know what it's called too. And then I'm going to get off for a little bit and we'll have a short night. And if I end up at home tomorrow night, then we will do a big live. And if I'm not home, then I may or may not be on. I probably will not be on because we'll be in a hotel. Very interesting. But yeah, they're not going to have a problem renting it if they choose just to repair it and move on. But it's sad. I mean, it's a sad situation. But I mean, it'd be a lot though. We're talking about this much blood. You're talking about having to rip up like carpets and subfloors and walls, and And I used to go to Savannah when I do go to Savannah. I haven't done it in a while. They do ghost tours. I think New Orleans has this now too, where you can actually take a hearse, and like they put you in the back of a hearse. I mean, they've cut the top so you can sit there and whatever, and they take you around, and you ride around a hearse doing a ghost tour. Oh yeah, it'll be costly to repair, but insurance will probably cover it. All right, what else before I jump off for the evening? It's called Murder House Flip. Okay. Okay, well then I'll do my housekeeping. I'll say it one last time. If you're just wandering into this YouTube live, please hit the subscribe button. And same thing with Twitch and Twitter if you're there, so follow. But on Instagram and on YouTube, I will, as I grow, I plan to do a giveaway once I hit 5,000 here on YouTube, and then when I hit 10,000 on Instagram, we will do a really cool giveaway. So please follow there. I'm trying to grow those. And obviously follow on TikTok if you don't already. But thank you guys all. Sorry for being so short tonight. And we will talk to you guys soon. Have a good night.